Hey guys, it's Sally Game. Welcome back. No, this is not a Mario Odyssey series. It's not. If you guys want a Mario Odyssey series, you can leave a comment and say, I want a Mario Odyssey series. But anyways, the real reason why I'm here is to talk about something. So, I had an idea. So, I believe I've played on both the NES and the SNES Classic. Okay, this looks like the Ice Climbers. I never really thought about it like that, but I believe I've played both of those on my channel. You probably know where I'm going with this. So, why isn't there a Nintendo 64 Classic? And if there was, what would be the games that were going to be on it? And that's what I'm going over today. Now, I gotta just get something out of the way. Next week, I'm going to be doing my first episode of Predicting Mario Kart 9. Me and my dad are currently making a roster. It's gonna look really cool when it's finished. So I might be talking about that a little bit as well. So, if you haven't already been able to tell, I'm going to be doing predicting the games on Mario, the Nintendo 64 Classic. So let's start off with the big shockers. We have Mario 64 and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, both of these games are pretty obvious. I mean, like, they're practically what made the Nintendo 64 so good. This is my favorite Mario game of all time, Mario 64. I'm trying to find something, so... should be somewhere around. Oh, there you are. So, basically, these games pretty much shaped the Nintendo 64 as action and adventure games. And, well, Mario is more of an exploration game, but still, these two games really shaped the Nintendo 64 and are some of the best Nintendo games of all time. Why is my controller, like, vibrating so much? Anyways, it's just really cool that wait, what am I even talking about? I just randomly started talking about, oh, this is really cool. Anyways, so the next games on my list are games 3 through 10. All of these games are classic N64 games, and all definitely need to be in the game. And the console, whatever. We have Star Fox 64, Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. That's what the full name of it is. Mario Kart 64, Super Smash Brothers, the original, Pokemon Snap. I chose this over Pokemon Stadium, as Pokemon Stadium took advantage of the Rumble Pack, which is not on the controllers. So I'll get back to Stadium later. Then we have Donkey Kong Country 64, just Donkey Kong 64. That's a classic, even though it's made by Rareware. Nintendo still owns the rights to that. And then we have Yoshi's Story and F-Zero X, just big games for the Nintendo 64. They're both pretty popular. I mean, F-Zero X was not like ultra popular, but I still think they'd put it on anyway. But anyways, I don't even... Could you guys even hear me there? So if you didn't hear any of that because I was too far away from the microphone, we have Star Fox 64, Kirby 64, Mario Kart 64, Super Smash Bros., Pokemon Snap, Donkey Kong 64, Yoshi's Story, and F-Zero X, all classic Nintendo 64 games. Then the next spots 11 through 16 are more classic games. Like, they're just popular. They're just not quite as popular as the other ones. So we have Wave Race. You might not know what that is. It's a water skiing game. It was a really early Nintendo 64 game and shaped the Nintendo 64 for racing. And it's just a really beautiful game. Well, for the Nintendo 64 it was. And then we have Mario Party 2 over 1. I'll come back to that, why I did that later. Both of these games are really cool, and they just really deserve to be on there. And then we have 3 more Mario games, being Paper Mario, Mario Tennis, and Mario Golf. They're just fundamental. You can't have a Nintendo 64 classic without them. This is a lot of Mario games, but that's all the Mario games I put on there, so. And now we have, after that, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. That just is a popular game and would definitely work on the classic and would go great with what's it called? So it would just go great with Ocarina of Time. And so, yeah, that's really for that. That just makes a lot of sense to me. And then we have Excitebike 64 as one of the lesser known ones. I just think Excitebike 64 is a pretty safe bet. And, well, yeah, that's pretty much why. I just think since Excitebike was on the NES Classic, just Excitebike 64 would work perfectly. And so, then next is 1080 Snowboarding, just because Wave Race is on there, and they're made by the same company, I believe. They're kind of the same type of game, except it's a snowboarding game instead. And they're just, both go well together, and I just think they would add both. Then, number 19 out of 20 is Banjo-Kazooie. Even though this is a Rareware game, I say if Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash, then Banjo-Kazooie can be on the N64 Classic. That's my reason to be popular too. Even though it's made by Rareware, which is now owned by Microsoft, I just think it would make sense. And then the last spot goes to the tech demo for Mario 64 2. If you don't know what Mario 64 2 is, it's a canceled sequel to Mario 64 on the disk drive. And basically they've had a tech demo that's a real thing for a long time, and the people in there just never got to see it. And so that's my reasoning for that, and it would just make a lot more people want to buy it for this N64 Classic. And then there's a few games I want to give brief honorable mentions to. So Bomberman 64 is the game I want that I couldn't quite fit on here. It's just kind of popular. I just didn't feel like putting it on. I just felt like the others would be more sensible. And then I had the F-Zero expansion pack. Is basically an expansion pack to F-Zero X, but it used the disk drive, so I decided to not put it on there. And so then I had 3 decisions between Pokemon Snap and Stadium, Diddy Kong Racing and Banjo-Kazooie, and Mario Party and Mario Party 2. I chose Banjo-Kazooie because Banjo had just come to Smash, and people would want to see where Banjo came from. It just would make complete sense to put that over Diddy Kong Racing. Plus, it would be harder to get the licensing for Diddy Kong Racing because there's more characters. Plus, it has Banjo in it anyways. So then, the next choice I made was Pokemon Snap over Stadium. I kind of already addressed that. It's just that Stadium used the Rumble Pack, and I just don't think they would be able to. It just wouldn't make sense without the Rumble Pack literally on the console. And then, last of all, we have Mario Party or Mario Party 2. I chose Mario Party 2 because it was more popular, even though Mario Party is the original. I just couldn't decide. So, well, yeah, that's pretty much that. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you agreed with me on these. I was kind of rambly throughout the video, and it might have been kind of boring, I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and you agree with my list on the Nintendo 64 classic games that would be cool on the system. Well, I guess that's it. Goodbye!